Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I kind of wanted to talk about everything related to going to college, what it's been like finding like accessible housing and just finding tricks to make life easier. It's obviously a huge adjustment from living with your parents and going to high school to living on your own, and obviously a dorm is like an easier way to like adjust to that. It's not like you're going to like an apartment setting. But I want to share like my experience with it all and just going to college in general with like classes and getting around campus and just meeting with like the accessible office. Like there are things that like you have to do to set yourself up for success if you're in a wheelchair. So I thought I would give you guys like some tips if you're in a wheelchair, and then if you're not, like I just think this is a very interesting topic, like how our lives like look, I guess, and how we like find ways to make things work. It's not hard, it's just like a few extra steps that you just kind of have to plan for. So yeah, that is what today's video is for. But yeah, I wrote out like a list of stuff, so I'm gonna be kind of referring to that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Okay, so I first want to touch on kind of the whole idea of like being independent, but then also being in a wheelchair and sometimes having to be a little bit more dependent. I kind of want to give an example of like this morning. I plugged in my smart drive last night and it didn't charge, and I had to go up a hill and I could not, it's a very steep hill, and due to the fact that my smart drive, which is basically, if you don't know, it's a motor that goes on your wheelchair, it has been a huge blessing for this specific campus because it's so hilly. It was dead, so I had to get one of my friends to push me. And sometimes that can be like frustrating when it's kind of like slapped in your face, like, oh, like I need help, like I'm having to be dependent in this situation. You really have to set aside your pride and be like, look, like it's not a bad thing to need help, and then just to be grateful to have like the friends that are willing to help you, because I can tell you that friends like that are hard to come by, but when you have them, it is the biggest blessing. So it's just inevitable that there's going to be obstacles. There's been times where elevators have broken, like in the buildings where I have class, and then my teachers have either Zoomed or been like, don't worry about it, this class isn't like important today, so you're not gonna miss anything. But it is frustrating. Even one time, like I was stuck on the second floor and the elevator wasn't working. We ended up getting it to work, and it was just really stressful because I'm like, how am I gonna get down? Like I don't really necessarily want a stranger to carry me down a flight of stairs. Will I do it? Sure. Like, I don't want to if I don't have to. Thankfully they figured it out, but it's just inevitable that a world that's not built to really be accessible, it's going to happen that something breaks, or you know, whatever the case may be, and you kind of just have to roll with it, literally. Sorry. But you kind of just have to figure it out, and it can be frustrating at times, but it's just going to happen. As far as the transition from living with parents to help to now, obviously like grocery shopping, like I go do my own grocery shopping now. I find no problems in that. I love grocery shopping, but there's natural things in a wheelchair or without a wheelchair that you just have to learn. Like if you didn't do your own laundry as a kid, you gotta do your own laundry. Like you are in charge of yourself when you leave home. So there are like more things to kind of figure out if you're in a wheelchair, but ultimately all people going through this stage of life are also figuring things out. So obviously there's more planning and there's more steps, and thinking, oh, the laundry floor is on the basement floor, there's no elevator in this building, now I got to talk to my school about getting, you know, the washer and dryer moved up to where I can do my own laundry on this floor. And I'm very grateful that I have a school that if I just communicate with them what I need, they will work with me. Because there's kind of a line of being dependent and being independent, and I don't necessarily want to be dependent on someone to always have to do my laundry. I have friends that would do it, and I'm so lucky for that, but also for myself, like, I just want to do my own laundry. I just want to do, you know, my own stuff that's like normal. So I feel like the biggest thing is like it is just inevitable that you're going to run into obstacles in a wheelchair, but you just have to be able to have the mindset of like, okay, like let's figure it out. You know, all schools should have a disabilities office or accessibility office, and you really, really need to be in good contact with them. I mean, have their phone number, because there has been times where I've been like, hey, like I'm stranded right now, like I need your help. Especially if like an elevator breaks, like it's essential. I'm very lucky. I have an amazing school that really is willing to work with me. As far as housing goes, this year has been a breeze. I live in a dorm, which is a lot easier of a transition, like coming from home to like living here versus like an apartment style, just because you're surrounded by people who, like, worst case, you need something, they can help you, as simple as like reaching something. I try and keep everything like on my level, but you never know. This year's been pretty good. I mean, as far as living, the only thing that really had to be like adapted was the laundry, and that's in the room next to me, where they've never had like anything on this floor because they've never had to. And it's a really old building again, so it's not like they could put in an elevator. As far as like my personal room, I mean, I technically live in like the RA's room, which has been so nice. I have a 3-person bedroom to myself. Like, are you kidding? This is amazing. I have a mansion of a dorm room. My bathroom has a roll-in shower. My sink is lowered. Everything is at my height. So I told them kind of what I needed, and they made it happen. So I'm very grateful for that. As far as next year goes, I actually tour on Friday, like different houses and apartment style stuff. They are a little nervous just because a lot of the housing that they have set up, just because it is a smaller school, like I'm almost positive I'm the first on-campus kid that is like in a wheelchair, ever. So they definitely have had to figure out a lot. But next year they are trying to figure out the best option for me for living, because a lot of the homes have stairs. Like a majority of sophomore, junior, and senior class live in townhomes, and those townhomes all have bedrooms on the second floor, and there are like accessible options, like they could add in like a chairlift, but okay, I get to the top, I'm stranded, my wheelchair's at the bottom, like that's just not gonna work for me. So I really need a 1-story apartment style. So that will be very interesting, because if they can't make that happen, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do, but we will find that out on Friday, and I will definitely vlog that process, just because this is a big part of like being in a wheelchair and having to advocate for yourself and find, you know, not something that kind of works, something that really does work. Like, don't, like, these are your like physical needs. Like, you don't settle because you will pay for it. Like, I don't know. As far as like classes go, again, I've just really been really good about communicating with my accessible office. Hey, like I need desks that don't have chairs connected to them in all my classes. Like, I can't just sit in a regular like chair desk. I need something I can just roll up to, talking into them like that. I also have a 504 plan, so I get extra time on test, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna use it. Like, is it because I'm paralyzed? Yes. Does that even affect me mentally? Not really, but it is technically an accommodation that I get. my doctor gave me the reasoning. I don't really understand, but I'm gonna take the extra time. Like, you gotta take your wins where you can get them. So that's really nice. But the biggest thing I can like kind of stress to you is you just have to communicate with your school of what you need. It's not like you're not a burden for asking. Yeah, I don't want to like ramble on for too long because this was just the point of the video. I would say overall moving to college has been honestly a breeze, an adjustment for sure, but truly has been so amazing, and I'm so grateful to have a school that is willing to work with me, and I have amazing friends that I'm so grateful for. But yeah, I wish you guys all the best of luck, and I really hope this video helped you if you're in a similar stage of life, or if you're going into the stage of life, or if you're just curious, whatever. But I love you all, and I hope you have an amazing day. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.